bugs are weird, but you know what's weirder? Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Every 3D Mario has a theme. Sunshine was a tropical vacation, Mario Galaxy was space, Mario Galaxy 2 was underwhelming, and Mario Odyssey was hats. What has to be the absolute weirdest of them all is 3D World and its alarming obsession with cats.
Meow.
I feel like I'm too American to get it, but what made them choose cats for this game? I guess it does tie in with the new power-up the game is marketed with that lets you climb walls and dive off edges to your death by accident, but there has to be a deeper reason why, right? Well, easy enough. The answer lies in an interview with the legendary creator of Mario himself, Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto. And let's just say his answer is... telling.
I would add that cat women are sexy and I wanted to see what a cat Peach would look like. Haha.
But the blasphemous Cat Peach doesn't end there. It's not just the characters being cats, or the power-ups being cats. The collectibles are cats. The trees are cats. Every single enemy is a cat. Cats are cats, but by far the absolute weirdest, most inexcusable of them all is... What is this game? What the fuck?
Super Mario 3D World! Meow.
The year is 2013, and Nintendo's hot spankin' new console just released. No one bought it. But the few that did were praying to Mother Mary that the 3D Mario game on the horizon would make their purchase worth it. Was it gonna be a successor to Mario 64, or a Galaxy 3, or maybe even something crazy and brand new? And when Super Mario 3D World was finally announced at E3 2013, it was met with a resounding...
What? Now.
Yeah, this game was quite controversial back when it was announced. How do I know? I don't. I looked like this when they released this game, but I'm sure that it was a bit off-putting that the next big blockbuster 3D Mario went from this to this?
Now.
See, out of all the mainline Marios, 3D World is by far and away the most generic looking one out of the bunch. And to those who haven't played it, I wouldn't blame you for thinking this is just that one game tainted by the generic 2D New Super Mario formula, but translated to 3D. And at first glance, it looks like exactly that. Oh look, the Mushroom Kingdom, haven't seen that before. Let me guess, Bowser captures Peach, but this time it's done through interpretive dance, as to remove as much story as possible. Oh, Bowser's going after a fairy? That's weird. I guess it'll just be the same shtick, but with Peach, whatever. Whoa, we can actually play as everybody here? Okay, that's awesome. And there's mini walkable hubs for each world, and the music is a bop with a great jazz theme, and this cat power-up is really cool, and the level themes are actually creative and auto-scrolling levels. But holy crap, Bowser's got a new set of wheels, oh yeah! And Captain Toad, he's got his own levels too, oh man! And the Goombas, they're in little floaties, come on, that's adorable. And the final world is a freaking theme park, this is awesome. Blue fire, dude, oh yeah! And oh my gosh, the final fight with Bowser, how is this gonna go? What's it gonna be like? This game is weird.
Now.
The best way I can describe 3D World is that it is a somewhat translation of the 2D game series minus the soulless dread. How many times have we seen the same grass, desert, snow levels with the exact same backdrops? Can you tell which new Super Mario game this is? Trick question, they're all different. You can't tell any of these apart. But you show me this game, like it or not, yep, that's 3D World. This game has an identity. This game has creativity and heart. This game I don't think is that fun to play. Where the heart and creativity is concerned, 3D World is right up there as one of the best in the entire series. You can tell the developers had a blast crafting these levels, along with other things. But the gameplay by itself? I don't think it's that fun! This is as basic course clear Mario as course clear can get. Wanna explore an open level and find secrets at your own pace? Screw you, get to the flagpole freaking now, dang it! Now being a hyperlinear course clear type game can come with some upsides, but also comes with some beefy downsides as well. For one, it makes these levels hyper-focused and extremely unique, but what you see here is what you get. Extremely linear, not much room for exploration. It very much feels like handcrafted artificial levels floating in a void, and if you know my relationship with Sunshine, well... PTSD. In case I've offended anyone at this point, let me point out, I do like this game. I like all these games, but the other 3D Marios, even Galaxy 2, all tried to do something new, taking risks and taking our favorite chubby Italian plumber to new places, while 3D World just kinda does the 2D thing, but in 3D. minus a few moves. Now I can totally see why some people would say this is their favorite 3D Mario game. It is set apart from the rest. The levels are the most focused and well crafted in the entire series. But just like with Galaxy 2, I'd like there to be a semblance of immersion. And where I can excuse most of Galaxy 2's levels where freaking tree people are sitting on a ledge floating in the middle of nowhere as, well, galaxies be galaxies, I guess. 3D World's levels lack a consistent through line of reality by just being floating platforms with no sense of immersion, and man, this sounds lame when I say it out loud. Look, these levels are great. It's got charm, and there's certainly fun to be had here. In fact, there's nothing overtly bad about this game, but there's nothing they could have really done wrong here either. This was the least risky Mario game possible, by a country mile. There are elements that are unique, but the game couldn't have been ruined by Bowser not capturing Peach this time, despite what I'm sure Miyamoto told the developers. Movement is tight and responsive, and it's fun to just run around, but the move set itself is really bare bones. They cripple or straight up remove moves for no reason. Do a little thought experiment with me and close your eyes, and think about what makes Mario's moveset fun. Running, jumping, maybe even a wall kick in there. Perhaps a great side jump, or a backwards long jump to get vertical height. And don't forget that triple jump, what a classic. Maybe a gameplay modifying item like the Flood, Cappy, or a spin move. Is that what you would like in your 3D Mario game? F you! Get to run and jump. No triple jumps, no new gameplay changes, just the bare essentials. And sure, out of all the other games, this moveset works best with this game, but I feel like that just shows that the basic concept as a whole is flawed. Even in the switchboard, sure it's nice to run even faster and have moves from Odyssey, but these are virtually useless in this type of game because with such small, linear, and borderline claustrophobic levels, no amount of cool new power-ups or perfectly placed floating platforms and enemies will make me prefer to play this game over any other 3D Mario. That is, if I'm playing solo. See, if you look on the back of the case, a keen eye will catch that this says up to 4 players, which has me thinking. This isn't just single player. That's right, you're supposed to play this 3D Mario game with other people? And playing this multiplayer shoots this game from an okay B-tier Mario game. I mean, it's fun, but it's not all that to, oh my god! Stop running off screen! Get on Plusty, dang it! It's fun multiplayer. This game is not a single player game. It's a multiplayer game with a single player option. The sheer chaos and coordination to just beat a single level will test if your friends are truly your friends, or if they need to be taken care of. All of my criticisms so far are just about thrown out the window when you factor in multiplayer. Sure, this is my bottom pick for playing solo, but even still, it's a good time. And playing with other people, it's made so much better. Although I will say, if both of you want to play the same character, sometimes things can get a little heated. Alright, let's play some Mario 3D World. You ready? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mario time. Woohoo!
Oh, you're picking Mario? Yeah, is that a problem? No big deal. Although multiplayer definitely helps the experience, my biggest issue is just how dang linear this game is, and not just by progression. In all the other games, hopping around a level comes with a semblance of freedom, but in 3D World, it feels like every single move is laid out right in front of you. Anything breaking the norm is a big fat no-no. The only reward for exploring, and I put those in heavy air quotes, are these green stars, and the occasional secret spaces with coins. But with how linear and by the books the levels are, it is quite obvious where these things are. Where in a game like Odyssey, it can hide its purple coins and hard to reach spots or in creative places, it pulls those off because it feels like I'm in a real place and I put an actual effort to get somewhere. But in 3D World's levels, everything is so hand-placed and intentional that this gap in the wall of course is gonna lead to a green star, because the spot would not be here without one. Every single element of a level is utilized, but to a fault. There's nothing secret about these spots. In other games, it feels like I discovered something on my own, and the devs just happen to reward me for it. But in this game, the only surprising element of these green stars is just how many you need to beat the freaking game. I expected some sort of soft lock of stars to get to the final area, but man, you have to ace over half the levels and get 1 or 2 on all the others to get the final area. And when an uncomfortable amount of these levels are auto-scrollers, if you miss a single green star, you get to do the whole level all over again. Both Galaxy 2 and 3D World have some wacko final star counts. It had me looking back at Sunshine wondering if all my disdain was simply misplaced. And then I remember the secret levels and all that apathy comes flooding right back. I will say I am glad that I got back into playing all these games after Odyssey was released. Because if this was the big 3D Mario we had for 4 years thinking this was the future, I'd lose my marbles. But since Odyssey came out, proving they're still down to throw Mario in an iced over desert naked with a sentient hat, aka creativity, I can appreciate this game for what it is. A fun, safe multiplayer game for the whole family. Overall, 3D World has its own thing, it's just not really my ideal Mario. But that doesn't mean I didn't have a blast with this one. Review concluded. Wow, in record time too. There's just not a whole lot for me to talk about with this game. It's not like they for some reason brought it back after 10 years, repackaged with an open world sandbox collectathon with freaking Giga Bowser and anime boss fights. And 30 extra copies of Firefly's Battle City. You can't get everything. Super Mario 3D World. Join the Mario gang in this brand new adventure, but with a twist. They're cute little cats this time around. Aww! With some fun levels and cheery music, this is a Mario game for the whole family to enjoy. And as a bonus, we threw in a little side story called Bowser's Fury, which is evil, darkness, fire, littering. Littering is cool. That's right, it's not 2013 anymore. The future is now. The only sure thing about life is death. And Nintendo porting a 10-year-old game to the Switch for $60. This game, nay, this experience, it feels like it was specifically made for the goobers like me that just didn't vibe well with the course clear nature of the original. Just think about how freaking bonkers it is that not only did they include a whole side game in this port, but had it be the exact opposite gameplay-wise to the original. You don't like course clear levels? How about a wide open lake with Odyssey-style shines everywhere? Or, sorry, cat shines. Not a big fan of the fixed camera angles with claustrophobic level design? Run anywhere you like! Enjoy the scenery, take in the trees, or cat trees? Felt like everything in the original game was too hand-placed and artificial. Enemies are just big chillin' everywhere in their floaties. Or cat enemies? Oh man, they doubled down hard on the cat stuff here. If 3D World was tiptoeing the line on weird, Bowser Fury full-on embraces it and says pay me for it. I don't know about you, but this side game is just freaking awesome. Most problems I had with 3D World are fixed here. Even with 3D World's simpler controls, they show just how good they can be when given some room to breathe. It's the best of both worlds here. 3D World's gameplay with Odyssey-style levels and collection. But you can't talk about Bowser's Fury without mentioning the unhappy camper himself. When you're teleported into Lake Lapcat, you're not met with a bright bubbly lake, but rather depression, rain, spookiness. And off in the far distance, you see something move. Another day in the Mushroom Kingdom, I suppose. But after you grab a cat shine, he goes back into hibernation. For now. Here you meet Bowser Jr. And although not much is done with him throughout the whole game, it's still really awesome to see. He'll follow you around, bonking enemies, harassing wildlife, and will store up to 25 power-ups? Holy balls, I thought 3D World was innovative for storing one. The power-up storage mechanic here is a really helpful tool. Although I really just stayed between the cat suit and Tanuki suit, it was nice to switch between them when the gameplay favored a certain power-up. And shoot, I even needed the fire flower. Once. I think my favorite part of Bowser Jr. in this game isn't even how he affects the gameplay. It's that when you get hit by an enemy, the dude just laughs at you. And I love it. Lake Lapcat itself is just right up my alley. A wide open area where you can explore to your heart's content. Cat shines galore. Talk to this cat to get a shine, catch a bunny, do an Odyssey-style time trial. You only need 50 to beat this game, but there's 100 to choose from. And the more shines you get, the more areas open up, with secrets found throughout the entire world. The map is so big, in fact, you have to ride this freaking plastic dinosaur from level to level. Have I mentioned this mode is awesome? What could have been a bonus world or maybe a challenge mode for 3D World was instead the first open world Mario experience ever. But although the open world is a dream come true, it's clear the Switch wasn't quite made for a game like this. The resolution is already lowered in Bowser's Fury, but shoot, when the starring man himself comes out for an encore, it gets even worse. And with constant frame rate dips, I'm desperately trying to get a hold of a shine just so I can see clearly again. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here! And a few times throughout the game, I thought I'd have to send mine to the pasture. The first few times Fury Bowser comes out roid rage trying to steal your lunch, it's freaking awesome. You see the rain start pouring, the music kicking in, and Bowser's shell starts to rise, and oh crap. But I do think the novelty of big anime boss Bowser wears off fairly fast. It quickly got to the point where if it had been a while since a little action, the rain would start, the music kicks in, I'm supposed to be all terrified, shaking in me boots, he comes out of the shell looking angry, and then I immediately grab a shine to make him go away. Yeah, he does get a bit annoying after a while, but it's not that big a deal. If this was a full-length game and he shows up as frequently as he does here, I might complain, but with how long this side game is, it is really cool. Just the novelty wears off a bit. In fact, I found him really useful later in the game. There's certain blocks that can only be destroyed by his fire, so every time I saw the rain starting, I'd rush over to a level where the blocks were. But you're not just supposed to stop and smell the roses when this freaking demon tries to kill you. There's the Giga Bell, a mega-sized power-up that lets you fight back. And when you finally grab it to take Fury Bowser on, you transform into a huge come on!
Now.
These boss fights are epic, and the music is freaking awesome. Now, I've never really been a huge fan of Bowser boss fights, as they're usually cool, but a bit too simple for me, and this time around, it's no exception. But the sheer scope of being freaking huge dodging attacks from this is just too cool for me not to love. The only weird thing about these boss fights is that the camera is sometimes really hard to control. When Bowser goes into a spinny shell attack, you have to move Mario in the direction you're pointing the camera to even try to keep up with Bowser, and it got me a few times. But that's literally the only downside here. The levels are awesome, map progression's awesome, the fights and encounters are awesome, and shoot, when Bowser's OG theme from 3D World kicked on during the final Fury Bowser fight, I got a tiny jolt of 3D World nostalgia. And you know what? I'm glad. Overall, Bowser's Fury is not only a bite-sized, fun Mario game that I am sure I will go back and replay often, but it enhances 3D World as a whole. With Odyssey and now Bowser's Fury out, I can look back and appreciate 3D World for what it is now. It may be on the simpler side gameplay-wise, but it is without a doubt super creative, unique, and freaking weird. I more see this package game as having a single player with Bowser's Fury and a multiplayer with the base 3D World. And viewing it like that, I really think this is one of the most complete Mario packages of all time, even above Galaxy on some days. But not quite first, because that game, well, that game's for another day. But those are my thoughts on this weird cat-filled game. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go watch the Mario movie, where I'm sure there's not gonna be any weird cat stuff going on.
Now.